Snow White bombs, breaks records for the lowest live-action remake opening ever. Let me say that again. Ever. Okay? This is Snow White. And for those of you that have daughters or ladies that are listening to this, remember the first time you watched Snow White? The story, a love story, what happens to it. Snow White starring Rachel Zegler opened to a dismal $43 million, snagging the title of the lowest debut weekend for any Disney live-action remake, beating 2019's Dumbo at $46 million. They beat Dumbo. Shame on you, but it's for the worst ever. The article notes this does not count for the 29-year-old live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians, which is not part of the current cycle. Nevertheless, the 1996 remake movie still open at $33.5 million. Today's dollars, that would be $68 million. Overseas and farce projections whopping $100 million, $87 million globally, falling short of $270 million budget before promotion, leaving Disney facing a brutal loss. Entertainment Media offered excuses, with Penske Entertainment Media monopoly claiming there's another thing when it comes to Snow White, and it has nothing to do with controversy, rather her age. That being in Disney years, 88 years, suggesting older tales like Maleficent, Cinderella, 101 Dalmatians with darker, colder classical themes don't draw modern female audiences. The article counters, okay, but then why did the 2015 live-action remake of 65-year-old Cinderella 1950 open to $68 million domestic and $542 million global gross? Pretty scary thought here. Rob, can you play the clip and tell me, folks, if you watch this, tell me if this is attractive to you. Tell me if this is attractive to you. Like, does this, imagine you invested into her being the face of the movie, and she's the main character, and she's trying to promote the movie. Would this make you want to go watch the movie when she's starring in it and she's the main character? Go ahead, Rob. Play the clip.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them,
she's a good actress,
that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Wow. The ego on this girl is ridiculous.
Wow. And Rob, do you have another clip of what she did the first time? Is this the one?
Yes, because if you remember, this movie was delayed. And then at one point they took, because they couldn't have dwarves. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, because Peter Dinklage and all them were talking crap.
So originally they
took... You have
took
a picture of what the dwarves were supposed to look like?
I can find it, but it was an array. It was the DEI of
DEI
dwarves.
dwarves.
Yep, but they actually ended up, that was too controversial. They had to reshoot the film and use CGI dwarves instead of actual
and
dwarves.
So those dwarves were never used?
No, then they upset the dwarves that weren't used in the film because the dwarves were upset that it was going to hurt their acting career, that they got pulled out of the movie.
That's so... You cannot make...
Rob, I just
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs didn't have dwarves.
Let's see the dwarves picture first, and then let's go to the video.
Look, it looks like CGI the dwarves.
It looks like the dwarf fraternity from like the University of Oregon after a drinking binge. You see this?
Yeah, these are the ones that they had to replace completely
Those are bandits.
and do CGI instead.
There you go.
So those guys didn't make it.
No.
That guy's 6'2".
So what did they replace these guys with?
That's Sleepy, that's Drunky, that's Cokehead.
But what did they replace it with, Rob?
Blackie.
Jesus.
Yeah.
With Snow White CGI.
Animated CGI.
Can I see it?
Yes.
Go to images.
These are the
Little
ones
guy.
You're
They
joking.
look like Santa's helpers and a fat Santa in the
this
middle.
movie was delayed multiple times. This was supposed to come out in 2024. They just released it, and here she is. This is Rachel Zegler. This is her on the red carpet. This is in 2023 promoting the film and talking about why it's
what you
weird.
call promotion.
Promoting the film.
Demoting.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because like we cast a guy in the movie,
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
God.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
What?
So yeah.
My agent would have punched me in the face if I was up there saying some stupid what an investment. Oh, like $300 million. It's snow. They should have just called it snow.
By the way,
slightly tanned.
that was the budget before promotion was 270.
Okay.
The promotion budget I just read was 230.
So $500 million.
Correct.
$500 million.
Approximately $500 million in total.
The review, by the way, 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. Umberto sent me this. 1.9 out of 10 on IMDb. And those, by the way, they weren't dwarfs. They were called bandits. So the Snow White doesn't, like, the amount of, like, if it ain't broken, don't fix
Break it.
Leave it the alone. Yeah, that's it. If it ain't broke, break it. Like, leave these stories alone. If she, by the way, if she never opened her mouth and she didn't do all this nonsense, people would have gone and watched the movie. They would have made their money, but then people would have been disappointed after the math. Like, why are you talking? Like,
I have a
talk.
quick question. You and Adam know entertainers. You know a lot of people. Adam's connected in Miami. There's a lot of people down here.
Yeah.
You know, after careers, people coming up in careers. I mean, he knows one of the most prominent comedians and cast members, SNL. So let's play a game called Hubris and Handlers.
I love games.
So the handlers are the agents. And what do the agents tell them? You know what? You're great, man. They're going to come see you.
They love
They're
you.
going to see you. You got to
You're
look
the
your
best.
best. I got you a
Your
I
money.
got you a
Your
lunch.
money, baby.
I got a
Your
lunch.
mon-
You have lunch with Irving, and you're going to sit with Irving, and I'm going to sit with Irving, and you are the star. You are the product, and
Yes.
they're going to put you in this.
Yes.
You are perfect for this role.
Yes.
Is that the way it happens?
100%.
Okay, I'm not exaggerating.
And the guy talks like that too. Yes, I'm
Vinny,
a star.
this is a Showtime special. This is a Showtime special for comedy. They need a fourth guy right in there. I think you're it. I think it's this. You're going to make it.
Got it.
And so the handlers do this to death.
Yeah.
And then the hubris is they believe it, and then when they're unleashed on the red carpet,
Oh, man.
that's what you get.
And this is the woman that's stepping down from Lucasfilms.
Oh, when did this happen?
Kathleen Kennedy just announced at the end of 2025 she's leaving, and she's the reason behind a lot of this DEI. This is the one,
The movies and
the
everything.
Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah.
So
So we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. Adam,
I'm so disappointed in Disney. And I'm not saying this as a moviegoer. I'm not saying this as someone who's railing against DEI. I'm saying this as a stock owner in the company of Disney.
You brought
Okay?
it.
I brought it to show it. I didn't want to send Rob a picture because I don't want to get a pow-pow. But here is my grandma, when I was born, I guess, bought me 10 shares of Disney. Okay?
Oh, is this
So-
your annual vote?
This is my annual vote.
Oh, wow.
So I get to vote as a shareholder of Disney. My stock has plateaued over the last 10 years. Okay? The stock in 2015 was about $100. In 2025, it's still $100. For the last 10 years, Disney, you ain't done shit. I'm trying to save that money. I'm trying to invest that money. I'm trying to grow that money.
Gone.
Stock price has done nothing in 10 years.
Thanks, Nana.
So here are the names of the people they're telling me. Look, people, they're saying, we recommend you vote for. You
Recommendation.
see all these names. Mary Barra, fired. Amy Chang, fired. Jeremy DeRoque, fired. Carolyn Everson, fired. Michael Froman, fired. Robert Iger. How do we know that name?
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger.
Is that his brother?
We wrote his, no, that's him.
Oh, that's
homie.
him, Robert. My bad.
Bobby.
He read his book, Ride of a Lifetime.
I didn't read it.
Yeah, well, you can't read, but we
Whatever.
read it as a company.
Potato.
All these guys, Calvin McDonald, nobody knows these fucking people, but they're asking for their
vote.
jobs back.
Yeah.
In 10 years, you guys have made no money for shareholders in the company. You got to go.
Adam, we ran out of
And
toilet
this-
paper. I might be using
Thank
that.
you.
after this.
Preston,
And this
this
movie-
stock sucks like a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
But this movie is the antithesis of what's going on with Disney.
Great word.
And by the way,
Thank you.
Mary Barra, who's on the board and on
Yes.
that list there, you know what she's famous for?
Tell me.
She's at General Motors and she crashed Cadillac into a tree. So it's basically.
Oh, man.
So hey, you're destroying the auto industry. Perfect.
The only-
Do you
nobody
know
kn-
anything about media? No, that's perfect. Neither do we. Join the board.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, but they also want us to vote for approving more executive compensation, you're fired. But here's the thing with this movie. It is all the crap that we've learned about in the last 4 years since wokeness and cancel culture took over. It's all the greatest hits in one movie.
Right.
It's DEI. They can't even get dwarves in the movie because they're DEIing the dwarfs. Ridiculous. It's the wokeness. It's the feminism. It's the toxic masculinity. It's the gays for Gaza fighting. Rachel Zegler, who's Colombian, is fighting with the Israeli Gal Gadot about what's going on. Gal Gadot, here's another thing. She's from Israel. She's served her country. Rachel Zegler's a freaking Colombian chick born in America. You don't know nothing about the Middle East, but she feels like she could argue on the same wavelength. She was one of the most beautiful women in the world a few years ago.
Still hot.
She's still got it going on.
Looks dangerous.
So
What happened at the Oscars when they were presented awards together, Rob?
it got very ugly
Did it?
because
Together?
Rachel Zegler.
They were, something happened.
There's a funny line in the movie.
They have barely done any interviews together.
No, they can't.
Do you have that clip, Rob, of them at the Oscars?
I'm going to look for it right
You
now.
find
Yes,
that.
if you can
There's
find it.
the funny, if you watch the trailer, they did this before all this beef. The first line in the trailer is Snow White is like, "Can we just be nice?" And the queen, the evil queen, goes, "I don't remember you being so opinionated." That is literally in the movie, and it just goes to show that's so apropos for what's happening.
Can we show
right now.
this, Rob? Guys?
Show this right here.
How long is it, Rob?
25 seconds.
Can we show
Can we
it?
show it?
If I talk over it a little bit?
Do they have any background music or anything that we can't?
No. but-
I'm not sure. I've not been able to screen the clip.
Let's see this here. Go for it.
Visual effects push the boundaries
She is
of
Israeli.
what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem
Is
possible.
that the dwarf right there?
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effects.
They look like they hate each other up there.
I don't know if I could tell that. I can
felt
just tell
There-
that she.
there's
I don't know,
there's
maybe
worse
a
stuff.
little-
They won't do press together. There's apparently beef right there. But here's the biggest thing, and it's I'm bringing all this together right now. Bill Maher, this movie, Disney. Do you remember the graph? We love our graphs. Of Bill Maher saying how everybody is just gay now, right?
One out of four.
Boomers, Gen X.
Rob.
Oh, yeah, he
Rob,
went generation by generation.
This
We're
thing right
doubling
here.
every generation.
Exactly.
By 2050, we're
In
all
this
gay.
movie, who was supposed to be the hero in Snow White? The original story, the original adaptation. It was the prince, the quote-unquote stalker, who kisses her and wakes her up and saves her life.
He's a stalker.
In this movie, she's like, oh my God, he's like a stalker. Or like, why is he like... So
He would have been arrested.
And I don't know if you're looking for a love story, you're not going to get that. We're doing it different.
And-
She's
and-
telling you,
Yeah.
don't come to Snow White.
and meanwhile,
Is she your type, Adam?
Gal Gadot, 100%.
No, I'm talking about
Nope.
Zegler.
Nope. Midget. I'm not into midgets. But what I'll say is this.
Little person or dwarf,
They
Adam.
just got canceled, bro.
What if she's got 3 rides on Uber, all 5-star?
Oh,
3,000 rides.
Sign me
5-star.
in. Sign me up.
She is
So,
beautiful. Hold on, let's
she's
not
a
front.
cute chick,
She's
but-
but look at how beautiful you go from like unattractive because of the shit that comes
I'm
out of
gonna
your
move
mouth.
on this one because Adam's getting a little
Women
too
already
excited.
give you enough headaches. Now they're liberal and woke. It's just, you don't need this in your life.
All right, matter of fact,
but
let me
PBD, would
transition
you go
into this
take your?
next
You're
story.
transitioning now.
What do we? Yes, we are.
Transitioning?
What are you going to say?
Would
here?
you take your kids to go see Snow White? Your girls?
No.
It's supposed to be a kids movie, and all this drama's in it.
I asked my
You would
kids a
not.
question the other day. Movies,
Or ice
ice
cream.
cream.
We saw that.
And the all of
Brooklyn, no hesitation.
Period.
Ice cream. Tico movies, mommy ice cream, and Papa was ice
what
cream.
about Senna?
Senna was not allowed to come. Because
Oh, Pow Pow?
Her and Dylan.
What
they had
happened?
Oh,
Something happened.
something deep. We'll talk
you
about that
know, It's
later.
a tough one.
Okay.
It's a
Border-
tough one. They have
border
to go through
skirmish.
it. That's right. I get a lot of connects, a lot of questions about people telling me, Pat, I'm at a point in my life where, I just can't find myself to get to the next level. My life is good. My wife is good. My family is good. My this is good. But I'm just having a hard time getting out of bed. I'm having a hard time being fired up. I'm having a hard time identifying what I need to do next. And I tell them, every single one of them, I said, get off this Manect, go order the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, read it, Manect me back when you finish the book. You'll see why. The book was specifically written. When I wrote this book, I wrote it because over the years I've done a lot of business plans for a lot of different people, and I noticed there's 12 blocks that you need. 6 of them are emotional blocks, and 6 of them are logical blocks. Most people do business plan with only one or the other. It's either only focus on emotions, dreams, why? It's either only focus on logic. This book breaks down all the 12. If you've not yet read it, this is the National Reading Month. Place the order, signed copy, and if you order it now, I believe the first 100 are getting these Choose Your Enemy Wisely custom mug that'll be sent to you as well, on top of the free bookmarks of Choose Your Enemies Wisely that'll come your way as well. Place the order, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, signed copies on vtmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.